We're joined by the Vice Chairman of the full committee. Senator Murray is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Bondi, we are in a deeply alarming moment where law and order is being replaced by chaos and corruption and really whatever Trump wants. And your department's independence and its capacity to do its job have eroded before our eyes. We have seen respected career officials who've been fired for doing their job. Thousands more are being pushed out with your buyouts and the threat of mass firings, and entire divisions are being eliminated, and grants have been canceled illegally. So I have questions about how and why those decisions are being made, and importantly, whether you're adequately resourcing DOJ to do its job.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to America Patriots, the channel where freedom has a front porch, coffee is strong, and common sense is still legal, at least for now. Before we jump into today's wild ride on Capitol Hill, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Why? Because every time you hit subscribe, an eagle does a backflip. The Constitution gets a little stronger, and one politician somewhere feels a tiny chill down their spine. Plus, it helps the channel, and you get more unapologetic patriot commentary straight to your screen. All right, let's get into it.
But before I turn to my questions, I do want to raise my alarm about the troubling pattern of trampling basic rights. Detainees, including U.S. citizens, being shipped overseas without any due process. Elected officials are detained for conducting oversight, and a U.S. senator gets tackled to the ground for asking questions at a press conference. This is not the country I know or the values I believe in, and I hope that colleagues on both sides of the aisle will agree with that. Now, to the questions. Yesterday, and I know that Senator Van Hollen raised this issue, a former DOJ attorney filed a protected whistleblower complaint accusing Deputy AG Amil, Bove, and senior DOJ leadership of defying court orders, including through, quote, lack of candor, deliberate delay, and disinformation, unquote. The complaint also accuses this administration of firing the whistleblower for, quote, telling the truth to the court. These allegations are deeply concerning. Now, I know you said that you can't discuss the case, but can you confirm that you agree that this administration should follow court orders?
We will follow court orders, Senator. The entire administration will follow court orders. The problem arises in the district courts. All these district courts throughout the country are tying our hands. But here's how we will follow them when we get to the United Supreme Court.
I need to ask
we're winning.
A number of questions.
And so, yes,
I know
we're following the orders of the court.
Let me ask my questions. Can you confirm you will not allow any conduct like what is alleged to continue at the DOJ?
I'm not going to talk about anything that's alleged. What I will talk about with you, hold on, you asked me a question and I get to answer it. What you asked me, alleged conduct that's part of a pending whistleblower lawsuit that was filed on the eve prior to Amil Bove's hearing today.
I'm not asking about that
suspicious. Hold on, let me keep going. I would run through a wall for Amil Bove and Todd Blanche.
Continue with my questions. I have very limited time. Senator Murray. Thank you. I just want you to confirm for this you will not allow conduct like that at the DOJ. Yes or no?
I will always support and defend Amil Bove, and I will defend Todd Blanche. They are two of the finest people I know, and two of the ethical people I know.
I was asking about the conduct. Let me keep going here. Now, in April, DOJ abruptly terminated over 300 public safety grants that had already gone through a very rigorous and fair and apolitical application process with no explanation. This is funding to investigate and prosecute drug trafficking, to support foster care kids who experienced abuse or neglect, to expand access to forensic exams to prosecute violent crimes like sexual assault. These really senseless cancellations have already forced public safety organizations to cut employees and services. So when I want to ask you, when you cut off the community-based violence intervention and prevention initiative funding, were you aware it is used to prevent and reduce violent crime?
Yeah, Senator, you weren't here for that, so I'm going to have to repeat myself. We have cut grants. I think we've cut 6%. But if we have cut a grant that you feel should not be cut, please reach out to me. I will personally look at it. We've turned multiple grants back on.
Okay.
We have an appeal process, but if you want to come to me directly, I would be happy to sit down with you and look at that and help you.
I'm happy. I appreciate
Again, we're doing everything we can.
Okay, but let me just ask you, when you cut off the Expanding Access to Sexual Assault Forensic Examination grant, were you aware that that grant helps our authorities prosecute rape and sexual assault?
I have no idea about that specific grant you're talking about. That's why I said, if you want to come sit down with me, I would never cut a grant intentionally that has anything to do.
Recipients on the other end across the country.
Can you give me the details of that grant?
I can absolutely do that, and my staff will get that to you, but those are two critical ones that I just wanted to ask you about today.
Again, we've turned many grants back on, and we'll continue to. If you want to call me and we can discuss them with you.
Okay, in your budget request, you propose consolidating the Office on Violence Against Women into the Office of Justice Programs. In 2002, Congress actually codified the office as a permanent, separate, and independent office to implement the Violence Against Women Act. We did that to make sure that violent crimes against women receive the necessary attention, expertise, and resources, and to give the office a strong, independent voice within the Justice Department and federal government. Now, your department wants to fade that into the OJP, which violates the intent of the law that we passed. It makes grant programs less effective, and it places a lot more barriers for victims and services they need. And I see that you're cutting the office's resources by about a third. So will you commit to us, the Appropriations Committee, to follow the law and maintain OVW as a separate grant entity?
I will follow the law, but I will not keep that as a separate grant entity. You and I can disagree all day long on what the law is.
Well,
that's being consolidated into the Office of Justice Programs.
So
I'm not going to cut, let me answer, I'm not going to cut anything that's going to hurt violence against
not
women.
My question.
It will eliminate
I'm asking, just for your information, Attorney General, in 2002, we codified the office as a permanent, separate, and independent office. So that you need to go back and take a look at that. I know my time is out, but I thank you very much for the time.
So today we're reacting to the spicy Senate hearing where Attorney General Pam Bondi walked into Congress like she was stepping into a Thanksgiving dinner with a whole family arguing politics. Except she's the only one who brought the facts, the confidence, and the ability to stay calm while people are waving papers around like they're auditioning for a soap opera. The hearing was supposed to be about the DOJ budget. You know, boring, but important stuff. But of course, what happened? The Democrats from the Northwest turned it into an episode of Let's Try to Catch Pam Bondi saying something. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Senator Patty Murray came in hot, quoting whistleblower allegations like she was reading the script of a political thriller. And look, whistleblowers are important, okay? Transparency matters. But let's be real, dropping a complaint right before a hearing is like throwing a football onto the field in the middle of a baseball game and then yelling, "Why aren't you playing correctly?" Bondi handled it like a champ. She said, "I'm not talking about allegations in an active case," which, you know, is literally what every lawyer in the universe would say. Even lawyers on Netflix shows say that. But Murray kept trying to box her in any way. And Bondi's like, "Hold on, Senator. You asked me a question. Now let me answer it." I swear, if she had a gavel, she would have used it. And then, this is my favorite part. Bondi says she'd run through a wall for Amil, Bove, and Todd Blanche. Now that is loyalty. That's the kind of energy I want in my government. Not people stabbing each other in the back, but people who will suit up like the Kool-Aid Man and go right through drywall for their team. Then Senator Merkley shows up ready to talk about a meme coin dinner. Yes, a dinner about a cryptocurrency named after Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a border crisis. We have rising crime. We have cartels pouring drugs into America. And this man wants to talk about a dinner party where some investors ate steak and probably took selfies with a MAGA-branded dessert. Merkley keeps asking about foreign influence. And Bondi, I kid you not, keeps trying to steer the conversation back to things like crime, drugs, safety, you know, the stuff people actually worry about. It's like watching someone ask a firefighter about parking regulations while the building is still burning. Bondi basically says, Senator, I'm here to talk about the budget and protecting Americans. And Merkley is like, yes, but this one guy spent money on a digital coin because he wants better freight policy. Sir, please, this is Congress, not Reddit. And Bondi's deflection wasn't avoidance. It was prioritization. She's prosecuting cartels, strengthening enforcement, cleaning up DOJ leadership. And these folks want to chat about crypto dinner seating arrangements. At this point, I was sitting there yelling at my screen like, can we talk about crime? Can we talk about national security? Can we talk about anything that actually affects normal people? Bondi kept her cool. No rolling her eyes. No dramatic sighs. Just that steady, I'm not playing your gotcha game energy. Respect. And let's be honest, whether you agree with her or not, she handled that room better than most of Congress handles literally anything. So yeah, big respect to Pam Bondi. Cool, under pressure, focused on real issues and not afraid to say, you asked me a question, now let me answer it, which honestly should be stitched onto every Senate chair in the building. Anyway, let me know what you think. Was this hearing serious oversight? Or was it political theater? Do you think Bondi handled herself well? Would you buy a Trump meme coin? Just kidding. Don't answer that. The Senate might try to subpoena you. Before you go, hit that subscribe button. Join the America Patriots family. We break down the news, we laugh, we stay informed, and we keep our freedom-loving sanity in a world that sometimes feels like it's run by people who couldn't organize a picnic. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and stay patriotic. God bless America, and God bless you.